Hi. Whoop, I can't hear you.
How's that? Any better?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Good.
Now I can. Boy, hey, it's only been 40 some odd years, huh?
Yeah. So you left Buffalo in 1980 with Linda?
79. Yeah.
79. Okay, so it's 43 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I may have seen you at a festival afterwards and that, but I don't know. Yeah. So it's been a good 40 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
good 40. Yeah. It's kind of amazing how much we're on the same wavelength. When I read, that you have been a software engineer since the early 80s, that's when I started,
Yeah. Same here. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you went to Stanford, and I went to Barry University in Florida. That's where I studied computer science. Mind you, I had 15 credits to graduate, so I haven't graduated, but I've been in the field. I work everywhere from Charles Schwab for 10 years. I worked for the Navy SEALs. I worked for the USDA. I worked for the observatory in Maui, for 6 years. That was way cool. I think that was the best job I ever had.
I'm sure. Yeah, doing anything in Maui sounds like a great job.
I imagine this one. My first project was we were tracking satellites. And so we had a dome operator. Imagine at 2 o'clock in the morning. In the middle of winter, it gets freezing up there. It can snow up there, and so they had a snowsuit on, and the guy's job was real simple: move the dome clockwise or counterclockwise so the telescope can see into the sky.
Right.
Well, they had a tendency to fall asleep or doze off.
Yeah, right.
Imagine a lot of these passes that we're looking for satellites or space debris. They only happen like once a month. You get that golden opportunity, to snag it. So at the prime moment when they're supposed to capture it, they fall asleep and the dome moves, so the telescope can't point in the sky.
Right.
So I was working for Boeing, as I said, and the Air Force would ding Boeing every time that happens. That's a huge no-no. I think it was like a $10,000 fine or something like that. So it got to be a serious problem,
Sure. Yeah. Let me correct you. I never went to Stanford.
Oh, you didn't? I thought it was Stanford. Where'd you go?
Well, I went to University of Buffalo.
Oh, University of Buffalo. Oh,
that's why I was there. And but I end up in through some. Well, I wrote on my website through some magical luck of going through CETA and the Private Industry Council that was started by Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan. I got in this 1-year program for places that had high unemployment, like Buffalo. When you left, it got really bad after that. I mean, the steel mills started closing, Bethlehem Steel, and I think the unemployment rate was like 30%. It was crazy, and so they gave you a $150 a week salary to learn real-time programming. So I learned assembly language programming. And I get my first job, Motorola 6800, 68000, Intel 8085, 8088. So I did, assembly language programming for a number of years. I started with a company that did, toll collection equipment. You throw your coins into a hopper, and then would read the coins, or you'd put out a bill, that kind of thing, through a receipt printer. It was kind of cool. And then I stayed in Buffalo. Then I moved to Rochester, and I got into the telephony world. Did 2 years there, and then I moved to Boston, where I got into a publishing company. Like the company did like the magazine publishing for the New York Times and People, and I went to the People magazine building. But then I met my wife. I joined another spiritual group, and I met my wife and went to California. From that point on, I was in the healthcare industry.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, cool.
30 years in that hospital and clinical trials. And I retired this year, early last year. I got laid off, and I said, I'm done. Put a fork in me. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So,
In our field, it's kind of ironic. We have so much experience, but when you reach the age of over 60s, hey, here's a funny story. I saw a couple of years ago that a Google employee freaked out that he was over the hill and he was 30 years old.
yeah, right. It's all relative. Yeah. I mean, I gave up. I stopped programming about 2014. I became a director. Didn't have enough time to, my responsibilities were in other, dealing with multiple products.
Yeah.
But I thought the love of programming is there, but I had to leave it to the kiddies, and do the higher level kind of work. But I'd like to go back. I'm formulating some ideas. I'd like to go back and learn some. I never got around to learning React because I was I started doing JavaScript programming in like '95. JavaScript 0.5.
Yeah.
And I've always loved it. And I built one of the first JavaScript going to servers kind of deal. I thought it's called XHR. Back in like 2005, and it was amazing. So I might learn React because that's the the JavaScript package du jour, or anyway. Yeah, so
that and Angular and React are real similar. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm told React. Yeah, Angular is sort of going downhill, I guess, and React is still going up. But that's what I hear. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, but it's nice not to. I think after a while, I realized that all that programming brought too much energy and blood into my head. After like a day, that I felt like my head was hot. I can really, no hair. I can really feel how hot your head is from that logic processing. Anyway, yeah, I enjoyed managing and that kind of thing too.
But what I liked about programming, especially in the early days, I kind of pertain it to my own life. That you start with a blank slate, and there's always going to be bugs. There's no programmer that I ever have met has never encountered bugs in their program. That's the nature of the beast. And then I took a look at my life. It's the same way. We can program our life. There are mistakes we can learn from our mistakes are there to be learned. To take to a greater place, right?
Yeah.
You can't progress in life without mistakes.
So, absolutely.
So you might as well, laugh at them, right?
Right. Yeah. But that's a good way of putting it. That your life, life 1.0, has a lot of bugs. So you go to life 1.1, 1.2, and then you have different phases in your life. That's could be life 2.0, whatever. Yeah.
And even with the scientific research, I'm really into science and meditation. That's why I was kind of. I think you read that thing that I put on Facebook where I saw that conference in Marco Island just about a month ago with Joe Dispenza, with the scientist. Did you ever take a look at that?
I did. Yeah.
And so when I saw the conference and how sophisticated the research has come, since the 70s, it just blew my mind. And all my life, I wanted to participate in scientific research between meditation and science. So I talked to my twin brother John and said, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to send him a letter and saying I want to participate. So anyway, I sent it off. That was over a month ago, and last Monday, I get an email from Kamal, and he says, "Oh, I have meant, to write to you, but I've had like 3 research grants, that I had to do immediately. So I had to. Sorry, but I had to put you off." So anyway, he said, "Let's do a Zoom meeting." So my brother and I, we did a Zoom meeting. Automatically we just hit it right off. Most scientists, I think, they're so intellectual, that they don't have the heart side. but this guy had both. So, and we immediately, all three of us got connected. And this is something that was kind of blew me away, where he said, I want your help. I know you have, hundreds of connections out there, which I do. I'm very well, connected with various different organizations. That's kind of my nature. I'm inquisitive.
Sure.
If not only do I want to know chemistry, but I want to know quantum physics. I want to know about biology. I want to know just all about. So anyway, he was saying, well, I want you and your brother, to go out and through your connections, find groups or people who are interested in this project. And this project, just the same kind of investigation they're doing with Joe Dispenza, they want to do with other groups. He was saying at some point, I love, working with Joe Dispenza, but also at the same time, I know that there's a whole world out there with different groups, using different meditation techniques, different philosophies, different beliefs, and can you assist me in this manner? So
let me show you something for a second. Hold on. Just so happened, I've been playing with these again. This is called Muse.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard about Muse. Yeah.
And I've been doing it. I've been doing it recently, and I realized that as you wear it like this, it does the what it calls right here. You can see the
sensors.
Sensors, yeah, and there's a couple on the sides here too. But I noticed that one, I do a lot of open-eyed meditation. And this is very sensitive to the optic nerve. So if you have any kind of what's the word? Any kind of activity, eyes closed or eyes open, it registers that as non-calm. Which the goal was to be calm, and I can reach these calm states, but it's an imperfect system, but still it's a lot of fun to play with and helps to reduce discursive thinking. It's fun.
Are you doing Zen meditation? Because
I mean,
a lot of Zens, is half open, half closed.
Yeah, I don't ascribe or prescribe, or whatever the word is, connect with any particular style of meditation. I just simply sit. I'll follow the breath a little bit. I will follow. I will just simply be present in the five senses.
Yeah, exactly.
And then just simply sit in awareness itself, and sit as a witness.
Yeah.
That's about it. Nothing. I've done other techniques in the past, but I got involved in Buddhism too after a while. I mean, I have a whole history post Guru Maharaji, but right now it's simply I just sit. That's all I need.
That's all you need. Exactly. Yep. You don't need anything else.
No prerogatives needed.
Yeah. How many years did you spend with Maharaji's group?
I spent. Let's see. I left about 82, 83.
Okay.
And that's when I really got into my career, you might say.
Yeah.
I realized that I needed to build up that side of my as some great philosopher said, Ken Wilber said, in order to transcend the ego, you have to have a healthy one.
Yeah,
exactly. I needed to do that, and so I got into my career. But then about it, so that's 82 to 83, and I sort of laughed and I said, I kind of felt like I was no different than an addict. I was going for the juice of the feeling good in meditation, and that wasn't the real thing. I and got involved with Bubba Free John. You ever heard of him?
I remember him. Yeah.
I got heavily into that organization. In fact, I met my wife there, and I went on retreat with him for a couple times in Fiji for a month, and so that's more of a Kashmir Shaivism kind of scene, even though he's independent. And then I got into Buddhism. What happened was I had this really profound event that happened in it. As I meditated, I began reading Buddhist scripture, and I realized that what they were writing at in the Buddhist scriptures was exactly what my own insights were. so I got into Buddhism, and I studied with a woman lama in California, and I sort of just relinquished all that. Just realized, no, I don't need an association. It's nice to have a sangha, and talk to people and that kind of thing. But there's not like a great necessity to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like one of my initial insights after I had this major awakening event back in in '94 was my own nature is sufficient. That's all needed.
Yeah, exactly.
There is nothing in the conventional world that's required, because it isn't. And in fact, that whatever is in the conventional world is simply can be a distraction or a prop to being just simply based in your awareness as a witness. Regardless of any events, anything arising in consciousness or any objects out in the world. So that's it. That's all I do. Yeah.
Well, we're on the same wavelength.
Cool. Yeah. So so it's been a pretty happy life. A lot of drama in here and there, and I've been cross country back and forth, and like you have. You're in Kansas City right now, right?
I'm in Kansas City right now. This is the place. As a kid, I say, ooh, who would ever want to live, in Kansas City? But,
right.
but the thing I found, everywhere is your home. No matter where you go,
right.
home. Home. For me, home lies inside. So wherever I go, that's
right.
Yeah.
And you're married with a?
Yeah, I'm married. I got two kids. One 44 and 33. Yeah.
So the 44-year-old, that's from Linda Larini, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. And Linda's doing good. Here's a funny story. You probably like it. So now my daughter, Leilani.
Leilani, right? I remember that. Yeah.
She has a nephew named Ray. Now Ray is engaged to an Indian woman. So now, I was talking to Linda on Thanksgiving. Leilani said, "Oh, hey, my mom's here. Why don't you get on the phone with her?" So I was talking to her, and she told me this funny story. She says, "Okay, Ray." I said, "Yes, I know Ray. Well, he's engaged, to an Indian woman. Now." Her grandfather was a real famous Indian guru. Can so I mentioned all these gurus, and I bombed out. But anyway, then she says her grandfather was Krishnamurti.
Peter Krishnamurti. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So when I heard that, oh my goodness, I love Krishnamurti. My business partner, I have a program called Magic Rings, which I developed. It's a web-based program. One of his favorite teachers is Krishnamurti. So I just thought it was kind of funny. My daughter's nephew, is going to get married to a person whose grandfather was Krishnamurti.
Really small world.
Yeah, small world.
Very cool. Yeah. By the way, where is Linda these days? Where does she live?
She lives in Greenville, South Carolina. She's in the same town. That's where Leilani lives.
Oh, cool.
So they're both. They're about a mile away from each other. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
She's doing real good. Yeah.
Are you married again?
Pardon me? Yeah. I'm married. I got married again 33 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then 86, 87. Yeah, 87.
87.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I looked at your website, or the YouTube video. And I think that, most of the people I don't know, but a few I do know. Like I remember seeing Jack Leviton there, and I can't remember who else, but
David Schweitzer. Do you know David Schweitzer? No.
David Schweitzer. Boy, I don't know. I mean, did you talk to Scotty Goldstein?
I didn't have a talk with him yet. But I've been, since I did Family and Friends. Did you ever see that book? I did Family and Friends. I talked about 450 family and friends. So I had, people from Buffalo, New York, all my friends, scattered across the, yeah.
Yeah.
I call myself, I guess at times, the mystic historian. I loved it. I love stories. Whenever I hear any human stories, good or bad, I think stories is kind of like the living consciousness of where we are. Stories really have a meaning behind them. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like my next book adventure that I want to go out, and have people, give their stories. So unfortunately, how do I put this? Imagine I sent 450 Facebook requests, asking, telling the story of how Hamal wants me to go out and gather people, who want to participate in this research. And I only got back about 4 people out of 450. I laugh at that because that's the way humanity is right now.
Right. I think the average survey response is like 3%.
Yeah.
I end up spending time with a very influential teacher in my life named David. I forgot his last name. Oh my God, David. He's in Oregon. And he had this set of initiations that he did, 7 initiations called the 7 keys. And I ended up getting involved with him. And he actually changed my life quite significantly. And he told me that he sent out like several thousand brochures, on some mailing list. And I was the only one that responded.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So that was a fortuitous one for me.
Yeah, yeah. That wasn't Kevin Keys, was it?
No, not Kevin Keys. No,
okay.
Not Kevin. Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is 7 keys.
Okay, so 7 keys. Okay.
Yeah, David. God, I forgot his last name. Oh my God. Anyway, surveys. Yeah, so they're 4 out of 450. That's 1%.
Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of these were my close friends.
Right.
I've known a lot of these people for I probably half, or for about 50 years.
Right.
But even still, I
guess they're not interested. Yeah, what can you say? Yeah.
Exactly. Now, of course, I got excited because I'm seeing my dream. That sometimes dreams take 50 years to manifest. That's kind of when I see that, dreams are never lost. Those seeds are planted, and you just wait patiently. I mean, for example, like it's like in the early 70s, I read a book on Milarepa. I was with I was living in, actually I was traveling from Toronto after Miraji had a festival in Toronto. I think it was 76, Hans Shanti Festival in 76.
Oh yeah, okay.
You're probably there. So anyway, me and my girlfriend and another guy named Richard, I forgot what his last name is, but we drove from Toronto to Vancouver, and midway we went to a Permy House, and lo and behold, Bill Patterson and Mahatma Rajastwar was there.
And he initiated me. Yeah.
Oh, did he? Okay. Oh, cool. And so anyway, Bill gives me this book on Milarepa, and I read the stories of Milarepa, and I was blown away.
Me too.
And I always said, I always wanted to get in alignment with the lineage of Milarepa. So fast forward 50 years ago, 50 years, 6 months ago in July, I see Lama Glenn is offering a Zoom, let's say like a 6 month course on the 6 yogas of Naropa.
Yeah.
And so in those 6 yogas, so I should go to Lama Glenn. Lama Glenn in 1971 was around our age, and the Dalai Lama was opening up the first school for Westerners, for learning all about the Tibetan lineages. So he went to that school, and so his first tutors were the Dalai Lama's personal tutors. So he got trained, for 15 years. So he's gone through every single empowerment known to man. He's probably had about 35, different Tibetan Buddhist teachings. So I took that course 6 months ago, and I was totally blown away. I mean, just the amount of practical knowledge, that exists in that lineage is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the Buddhist Lama that I was involved with, she was from the Mahamudra lineage, which is Tilopa, Naropa, Milarepa, Rinpoche. And so I have reams of poems from Tilopa and Naropa and Milarepa, and it was a really wonderful time. I even got to go to Bhutan with her. That was kind of fun.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I sat in the cave of Padmansan Baba, and so the Mahamudra lineage I have a real affinity for.
Yeah.
So I'm with you there.
Yeah, so we're the same wavelength there. Yeah. So and so now recently, Lama Glenn and I have become like personal friends.
Yeah.
So I told him, it's kind of funny. So I told him, that about my meeting with Hermal Patel, from the San Diego University. And he says, and I wanted, he had like 400 students who took this seminar, that took this class. And he says, well, I got something even better. He says, in 1988, he said at Emory University, I brought over the art collection, personal Dalai Lama's art collection for the Olympics. And also at the same time, I helped Emory University set up the first school of studying meditation and science, and they were in affiliation with the Tibetans. The Dalai Lama started a research institute in India, and he says, I'll give you all the contacts. So I got all the contacts, and today, I'm gonna I sent Hermal, just an initial conversation about this school, this university, and so now I'm going to give him who the contact information is, background about Glenn Mullen, how he's been working with the Dalai Lama, for 50 years on many different projects. So it's kind of neat to see, everything got, synchronicity. I'm sure you know all about synchronicity. I read one of your Facebook posts. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you were talking about synchronicity, and it said, yeah.
Oh yeah, that happens absolutely. And I agree that wait around long enough, and your dreams will come true. I mean, somehow for us, we're fortunate, but they take time to process. And that's one of the wisdoms of age, is that you understand processes take time to develop and blossom over a period of time, and could be decades. Yeah, absolutely. I've gotten everything I really wanted, in life, and including not working, which is kind of nice too. So, it's interesting. One thing I wanted to share with you was that, I've been involved in, science and the brain. That's been a really fascinating thing for myself. I don't know if you ever heard of this, called the SAND conference, SAND. That stands for Science and Non-Duality, and it's a conference that's been out here in California. Not here. I'm on the East Coast now, but it's been going on for 10 years. And there's like three branches there. One is quantum physics. And the second one is brain science and meditation, and how brain science and spirituality are coming together. And I've been to so many lectures regarding people who have been doing research into spirituality, all sorts of types, and not just meditation, Kundalini experiences, whatever, peyote and brain science, whatever. And it's been a really fascinating branch. And I think a person like you would really, when they start up again after the pandemic, you would really love these kind of.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll send you the information.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the first areas, like in 1980, you've heard the Monroe Institute in Robert Monroe. Do you remember Robert Monroe? Robert Monroe had an institute in the what's the name of the mountain? Blue Ridge Mountains.
Blue Ridge Mountains. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see, in Virginia. And so he was one of the first who he was using hemisync. Have you heard of hemisync? Hemisync is well, hemisync. It was this. They use like radio frequencies to balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain. He is the one who started that in the late 50s. He started having hallucinative, experiences just naturally, and then he went to a psychiatrist, and he says, well, the kind of the visions, that they've been saying is kind of like what the Tibetans have been saying. You're not going crazy. Right? Yeah. So then he started, to well, if I have these, these naturally, and he was he owned a cable company at that time, and he's real interested in electronics. So he says, well, I bet you I can use sound, because he knew that sound has many different frequencies where I can alter, a person's chemistry by using sound to balance the hemispheres. Make a long story short, I went there for a week, and they put you in a chamber, which is your bed, but it's a water bed. And they have a curtain, so it's totally black. And then you have these headphones that you put on. And I call it, back then I call it the Disneyland of spirituality, because it was, I hardly, I took magic mushrooms once and only once. This was in the early 70s, and it was just like that, but he would take you on journeys, and so his whole thing is, these are training wheels, where after some time you don't need these tapes or frequencies. You can do it yourself. That was his whole thing. These are training wheels. I have on my and on my YouTube website, I have all, because after each session, you could record what you're experiencing. So I have an online recording of what I was experiencing 30 years ago. It was quite, for me, quite fascinating. Yes.
I'm sure. Yeah. Huh. They still do that?
They still do that. Yep. Yeah.
I'm interested. Yeah.
Now, he died about 15 years ago, and a lot of times, when leaders die, the organizations just, how do I put this? It's never quite up to par, where the leader was. Right. They don't have that inspiration or guidance, hard to put in words, but something kind of gets it. They were kind of drifting for many years, like a ship without a rudder. So they're still there, but it's nothing like it was. And I first heard about the Monroe Institute was through Omni Magazine. You remember Omni Magazine?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
they existed for a good 15 years, and I read that article they had in Robert Monroe, and that I was actually, as I said, I've always been interested in science. A lot of their research was funded by the United States government. That they were almost in bed with the Stanford Research Institute, SRI, and so they had a lot of exchange programs between them and SRI. So
So it makes you wonder, are they trying to weaponize this or what? Yeah, right.
And so, yeah, well, unfortunately, they use like remote viewing,
Oh, yeah, right.
but I asked some friends who were personally involved with remote viewing, and they said, "Oh my gosh!" And the people who really got involved in that, that they were kind of like almost destroyed, just emotionally. There's certain karma you don't have any right to check out on someone else without their permission. It's kind of like a scientific law, universal law. There are some laws you should not,
Right, of course. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So
interesting.
he checked out, just in time in terms out of that program.
Right. Yeah. So you. Is there anything else that needs to be done for the again involvedness this thing with
right now what I have to do, I need to get, I have about so far a couple different organizations that you heard of Nanda, Yoga Nanda's organization. I sent one out, and so she sent it to all the directors that she knows, like in Palo Alto, Nevada City.
That one.
That one,
that
not the main one. Yeah, because I don't have any connections in the main one.
SRF. Yeah.
So I got the Tibetans on board. I have a friend of mine who was a Premier named Richard Grossman. He was. Richard has been studying like leading groups in ayahuasca. And part of our conversation with Hermal, he said he wanted to deal, because he's also working with the veterans, administration, and he sees the tremendous problems the vets are having with PTSD, and so he knows, and he's seen, the phenomenal results of using like ayahuasca or magic mushrooms. So I sent him, just as a contact point, for him to, talk things over and maybe do brainstorming sessions. You need to, in order for those studies to help people, it can't be in a doctor's environment. It has to be in a place that's totally safe. It's got to be almost like in a retreat setting where the people are treated, with the utmost care. But myself, I haven't taken anything since the early 70s. But I do know, that it's for people who have serious mental problems, stress problems, and so I'm at the beginning phase of this. So I'm collecting a list of names of people who want to participate, and then organizations. So with Tibetans, hopefully I can get like 6,000, which would be pretty easy, and with the blessing of the Dalai Lama. And Glenn is personal friends with the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama loves, science, and meditation. He's been holding, those conferences ever since the 30s. I'm not sure, and the 80s. I'm not sure, how it is during COVID. They might have to do Zoom sessions, but I'm just kind of okay. I'm planting the seeds and seeing, and seeing, the fruition of this. So
well, it sounds like a worthy enterprise. And any, there's any help that science can give to validating, esoteric spirituality is a good thing. I think that there's always limits. There is the fact that this is transpersonal, and as a quantum physicist, I found out that you get to a certain point and nothing makes sense. Because it is trans mind, transpersonal, trans whatever. But there's a lot of ground to cover in terms of understanding how our minds work and how we suffer and how we can alleviate that suffering through scientific validation. I mean,
Yeah.
giving it more, and it's happening. There's a whole mindfulness, thing going on. It's blooming, and even I got the chance to teach mindfulness meditation in my company.
Oh wow! Okay. Oh cool. Oh cool.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
bet
really
that one.
blissful. Oh my God, I felt like a vampire because I had all these beginners in the room and teaching them how to meditate, and I felt like that the sensitivity of myself, being able to feel the satsang of this thing, this collective here, the collective mind was so powerful. And I'm not sure if anybody else did, but I certainly felt it. It was a wonderful experience. So, and that's happening all over the place in John Kabat-Zinn and,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
all over the place. But, I don't want to make it, hope, we don't want to make it too secular. It's not merely stress reduction, because I mean, meditation and esoteric practice is about, transcending, the limits of ego and the limits of worldly existence. But there's a lot to get to that point before you can go beyond there. And that's where we got to find that spot where it helps people. And it's kids are being taught meditation in school, and I mean it's happening. But there's a lot more to go. Absolutely.
Yeah. And kind of what I like, even practically, is that your body, you are your own chemistry kit.
Oh, yeah.
You're that they don't teach that in school. So they don't. I mean, for example, just think, anytime you get angry, there's 1,500 chemicals that scientists even know about that gets secreted into your bloodstream.
Yes,
but majority of Americans in the world, they can't fall asleep at night, which means the faucet of adrenaline is always flowing.
Yeah.
So and all diseases, disease is dis-ease.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, how do I say this? So when I was 18 years old, I believed in preventative medicine way before that what was coined. And I have a twin brother, so that helps in one difference, because we kind of discuss this. It says, this is the only body you get. And we both nod in our head. It says, why not take care of it? Why not treat it, as the most wonderful instrument in the world? And we did. So, I believed in the balance between body, mind, and soul. And when you do that, life will throw you curveballs, but you laugh at it. You kind of laugh at life. Know that life is always mysterious. You'll never 100%. Even if you meditate, let's say, for 1 trillion years, it's still one drop in the bucket in infinity. So
it's amazing how our body, how magical, how do we see, how do we hear, the mechanisms by which the 5 senses work. It's just, it's a miracle, I mean, a miracle that made every last 90 years. And, this whole thing about, COVID and stuff, the war that is going on in our bodies right now, fighting, and you just put that your Facebook thing about bacteria. Somebody said that if an alien came down and shot you with a gun, that would evaporate all your bodily cells. There would be a halo of your body, of all the non-body bacteria remaining. Because we were made of the best thing in the intestinal tract. It's just insane, and my wife has problems with her intestines, and that balance is really, really difficult to maintain. It's a miracle that we can eat and live and without dying so easy with all the the stuff that's in the air. So it is a miracle.
Yeah, so I think both of us are seeing, to day by day see the miracle of life. That's one thing I've definitely captured, is that yeah, no matter what happens, that I am alive. I don't know when I'm going to take my last breath.
I know
So
it's
uh, and each breath, the more I breathe, consciously. That's the thing, consciously. Uh,
yeah.
I remember years ago. I mean, almost everybody even on my Facebook, I talk about the breath a lot. And but each time I think about it, I know all my friends kind of roll their eyes. Oh, there is Richard again.
Crazy Richard.
You know,
Right.
talking about the power of the breath, and you can't convince anybody. There's nothing to convince. That's the thing. But yeah, as Raji used to say, you can put salt in their food. That's what I guess I'm tempting to put salt in people's food, because I think we're missing humanity, especially during COVID. My idea of COVID is Mother Nature sent us to our room, the entire world, to think about what we're doing. This is we're at a serious point, don't you think, in human history and evolution on this planet? That we have so many problems that need to be solved right now. Just every institution is on a death march.
Yeah, I mean, this crisis, you can take two roads from this crisis. You can get weirder, which a lot of people have, or learn from the crisis, or just go back or learn nothing and just remain the same. So I know there's a bit this whole weird thing happening, and I mean, a lot of people are just remaining the same. But I think hopefully that we've learned something by, quote unquote, like you said, being in our room, and it's really hard for people, to be in their
Oh
room.
yeah, most definitely.
We're used to it. We're used to being alone and meditating and just being, but not most of the world. So it's been.
Did you ever see that book I wrote on COVID? I wrote a book on it when I first started. When I first heard about it in December, first thing that came to my mind, oh boy, we're in for something we have no idea what we're getting into. I just, that was about 3 months before it came to the States. I first heard about it on the news. Something strange. I came out of Wuhan. So I got that inspiration. Well, I'm going to start writing a book on this, and so I kind of in that book I had one friend. His wife died during that, and so imagine he couldn't do a funeral. He couldn't do he had to do an online a funeral. So we worked together for Charles Schwab, and he says, could you give the whatever it is, the prayers or the talks on my wife. Now, I didn't know her very well, but we were best of friends. So I did an online funeral.
Well, I mean, my mom died. I was in California. My mom died in January of last year, and I couldn't go see her. And so I watched her last breath through FaceTime, and I ended up, going to a funeral. My sister went to the funeral, physical funeral, but I watched it through Zoom. So it was pretty hard.
Yeah, I bet. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Watching her die, watching her take her last breath. It was through FaceTime. It's crazy. Yeah,
I've been talking to my mom every day. She's
still alive.
living in Austin, and she has family there. But they go and see her like once a week. But during COVID, especially where she was, she couldn't even go outside of her room. That they had to deliver food because that's they had 6 people in the area where she stayed got COVID last week. Some staff got it. So
she's in a nursing home.
Yeah. I guess you would have called it a nursing home. It's one of those high-end nursing homes where you can go in and out. You can drive your car.
Right. Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I thought if I didn't, call her every day, there'll be days on end where she wouldn't have any, communication. And for me, without communication, that's when your systems, you start shutting down. When you don't socialize, socialization is part of life. We're social beings, and so when the body and mind sees that we're not socializing, just gradually, very gradually, systems start shutting down. So
right, I know that's a real problem for the elderly. And I think about myself. I don't have kids, and so ARP has a program where you get to call elderly people every day, just to be like a connection. And I'm sure that helps quite a bit.
Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely. Oh yes. Oh yeah. People want to know that someone cares about them. That's without knowing that, people start questioning, what's the purpose of even being alive if no one cares about me?
Right.
There's that. That's where that compassionate aspect comes in.
Right.
Compassion isn't a religious theory. It's a practical experience that we need in our lives, right?
Yeah. And first starts with self-compassion first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's amazing, 40 some odd years, and
I know. Yeah. You mentioned Dennis Marciniak. I've heard his name 40 years also, because he's a friend of yours. You were well connected in the community,
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I was only in Buffalo, and and I knew few folks that who came through, but not like you, But some of these names, it's like I sometimes I hear a name and it's like, wait, which organization, which cult was I involved in? That guy. It's like Guru Maharaj or Dafri John. Like I can't remember. But I mean, some of the things that happened there in Buffalo, crazy shit happened. It was blissful though, especially 77, 78.
Yeah.
Around the country and all those festivals, and that was wild times.
And what happened to, what's his name, Denny? What's his name?
Mike Denny?
Mike Denny. Yeah, I haven't talked to. Gosh, I haven't seen him.
Yeah, Mike Denny. I guess he went to Philadelphia, and he got into that book.
That book, yeah, I remember that
thing. And apparently he got pretty wealthy from it, I heard he was a very successful person.
Yeah, he was. Him and Peter Chadwick. Do you ever know Peter Chadwick? They worked together. This was around 84. Both Peter and Mike would visit me in Florida. So we became good friends. But then, after that, I moved to California, and I lost touch. I haven't no contacts whatsoever with either one of them, and I have fond memories of them. So that's what I like about Facebook. Without Facebook, we wouldn't be having this conversation. As much as people don't like it.
Yeah, and I have a friend. I'm from the Buffalo community. I have a friend, Marcy Rubenstein and Joanna Soldet, Tommy Owen.
Oh, Tommy Owen. Yeah.
Kurt Gould.
Yep.
Kathy Deutsch.
Oh, Kathy. Yep.
Who else? Yeah.
Scott Goldstein.
Scotty Goldstein, right? Scotty Goldstein, and a little bit Jack Leviton, but I'm not a friend with him. But and I was always wondering where some of these people are, what happened to them. But at least I know that where these people are at. I've gone to visit Tommy Owen in Buffalo and Kathy Deutsch in New York, because I'm from New York. So it's been cool to see them again. After all these years, it's just mind blowing. I remember I remember when Tommy Owen met his wife Nancy. I was at the, that was 76. I was in a teepee where he met her.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Oh cool.
Yeah. So it's amazing, just like how we were always together in this really tight-knit group here, and then we just sort of just spread out, and everybody's just living their lives. And some people stay in contact, some people don't. And it's cool to hear, but where their lives have gone, and some are dead, and some
a lot of them have passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said I wrote a book, Family and Friends. My opening
Oh, right,
was
yeah, yeah.
no man is an island. You know,
Right.
we all are tied together by the thread of love. We everything that we learn from is through family and friends. You know, but basically, you know, in the external world or through our communications and how and the people that we know. You know that we become. You know the acquaintances. You know
Sure.
that we have.
Right. Right. Yeah. I'm, you know, I don't have a lot of, I moved to new town here in Boston, so I don't have a lot of friends here. So I sort of like, I mean, I use Facebook a lot to keep in contact with old pals, but, you know, I'll probably find some here, you know.
Mhm.
But,
But we're the same problem. I've been here in Kansas for 10 years and I don't have any close friends except
oh,
for,
really?
you know, except for work friends, you know,
Right.
but
And those people, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I left my job, and a few people I still I have as Facebook friends because I've worked with them for like 30 years. They're like really, you know, like real close friends. But most of my colleagues in work, it's like I knew, you know, as soon as I left the job, I would never see them again, you know, or
yeah,
you know, yeah. But maybe it's different for you. Maybe these colleagues you're tight with. Yeah, you know, if you left your job, what would it be like? You know, would you still be friends with them or not? You know.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially in high tech, and there's so much turnover. You know, you're with somebody for like 3 years, and they leave to another job. But although some as we get older, we tend to leave less. You know, and stick around the
Yeah.
company a lot longer. Yeah. So I thought you were retired. I don't know why I thought that.
Oh, I am retired. I retired two years ago, but I'm now just as busy as ever before. I'm working
Yeah.
on a project called Magic Rings. Magic, if you put it like magicrings.org, you know, you
Magic
come up.
rings.
Yeah, Magic Rings. Yeah. And so what it is, I wrote this kind of like for scientific research and, you know, for scientists around the world. I'm also using it as a tool for people who have inspiring books. So my first one is Lama Glenn has 25 books. So if you do Lama Glenn, I'm sorry, you've got lamabooks.shop, it will go to Magic Rings and it will show you the slideshow of Glenn Mullen's 25 books.
Oh, okay.
So when you click on a book you like, it then takes you to Amazon. I have like also on that slide all the books. You know, I've done. I never was a writer. You know, I was a horrible. I'm still not very good at writing, but you know, well, here goes. You know, the more you do it, the better you. But I've written. Imagine this: 50 books in 5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's everything from you know the coronavirus to you or your own chemistry set to conscious politics, you know, conscious economics. For me, both in conscious politics and conscious economics, is kindness is the answer. If you're not kind, you know, politics will never work. You know, the economy will never work because you'll have people in power that they're interested in their own self-interest. They're not interested, you know, the banking system is not interested in you to have a better life. So only through kindness, you know, and a lot of people scoff at that, but yeah. I present it from what, but anyway, to make a long story short, yeah. All these books come from when I meditate, you know, that you go in a place where in the beginning, I think in meditation, you meditate on the universe. And at some point, the universe starts meditating on you. You know, it's not a conscious effort. You know, when I first sat down, it's like 50 years ago, you know, you had to put a lot of, I mean, I put a lot of effort into meditating. And now, you know, years later, you close your eyes and then automatically you're there. And yeah, it's just a drop in the bucket of where you are. But that drop makes all the difference in the world, just even with the world around us and how we can start, serving people with that experience that we have. So that's what I think. My books are kind of like my calling card, my Buddhist, prayer flag is, and my daily writings that I post on. I post things that I want people to get inspired by. That's my main key. My main key.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm planning on doing a lot more is writing. I used to write prolifically, and I wrote. My website has a shitload of writings on there, but I haven't done that because I've been so busy. But I feel like now I'm ready. One of my ideas is to take. I don't know if you ever heard of the little Zen calendar. It's a calendar that comes out once a year, and once a day, they put a Zen aphorism.
Oh yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
And every time I get one of those, I always have some kind of commentary about what the sentence is, which might be useful. And I might start writing like my commentary on the daily Zen thing. That's one of my ideas.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. You got to do that. I would love to read that. Yeah. I mean, if you did that, you've posted that every day, I can guarantee you, I would love. Hey, let me see what Phil's got up today. What was that? Yeah, definitely do that. I mean, that I get a total great hit on that.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. The deeper it would become.
Right.
So,
right.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, and that's something. I think even in the Western world, we need to understand more about the different Eastern thoughts. I mean, they're out there, but most people, when it comes to Zen Buddhism, have no idea. I mean, just have no clue. So the more you do it, the more it becomes in the mainstream.
Absolutely, yeah, that's true. And it just some people they can read it or not read it, but somebody might read it, might become inspired or whatever. But yeah, that's what Facebook. I've avoided writing things politically on Facebook, but and at times I've used to write spiritual stuff on Facebook and only put it to a spiritual group subset of my friends. But I said now, I'll just put it out to everybody. Who cares?
Yeah. Well. Hey, here's an interesting story. I have a friend who's a staunch Trump supporter, just totally. But yet, in the 5 years, I would see, he would read my posts, never say anything. But in the last 6 months, he's starting to love this. So gradually over time, I think the more we put it out there, the more that they begin to ponder. Okay, this guy is talking about something that's significant, and he's talking to me, and so slowly, their attitudes start changing. And
water eroding on a rock. It may take a little time, but eventually it'll
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Good. One less Trump supporter.
Yeah. Going back to the commentaries, I did that on the Tao Te Ching. I had that book in my bookshelf for a good 45 years. I would read one thing, and I just I didn't understand it at all. And so about 2 years ago, in meditation, it said, okay, it's time for you to pick up that book, and after each a chapter, you have to do a commentary on that, whether you like it or not. And so then I did that, and it was a kind of amazing, to see just by the effort of doing that, the doors open where now it was a difference between night and day. I mean, now all of a sudden I could see what Lao Tzu was talking about, and it's the same thing I think with that Zen commentary that you're doing. Those are almost like you're gonna be putting koans out there, and at the same time you'll be able to have your incredible viewpoint on that, and to that commentary. People can read it, and they can read your commentary, and then they can digest it. Oh, okay, this is what they're talking about. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
right. That's true. Yeah, especially in terms of taking an ancient aphorism and turning into modern day thought. It's really powerful. I mean, in fact, one of my favorite all-time sayings is from Lao Tzu, and he said, "By doing nothing, everything is accomplished." I love that. I love that saying. So anyway, yeah. Well, okay, that gives me inspiration to do it. I got a stack of Zen calendar things about that big. I've kept over the time.
Oh wow,
And,
yeah. Well, you could be the one on Facebook. I see everyone on Facebook that they have their treasures that they share. Some of them are like, I have some political friends, and that's all they share. And unfortunately, I don't need to go there. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
But then if you would people could think, oh, well, Phil, he's sharing these Zen quotes, and each one is so witty and full of wisdom, and his commentaries really make sense. And I'm beginning to understand, because we need both the irrational and irrational part of the mind, to understand these. And so then over a period of time, people themselves will then be able to digest something without a commentary. That's the part I think that you're trying to bring to that wisdom exists inside of you. But in order to get that wisdom, it takes growth, doesn't it? You can't. It doesn't happen overnight. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
No, except for the rare few, but not,
exactly.
I'm not one of them.
Not me.
Right. Yeah, it's a process. And we've. Here we are 45 years down the line here, and enjoying the fruits, of our own, whatever we went through back in the day, all the doubts and all the drama and all the pain and whatever, it's been worth it, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, to be able to that I kept focused on spirituality as opposed to anything else has been the best decision of my life, if you can call it a decision, because that's where my happiness lies. That's where the lack of drama, and a greater view of the world and myself and of things comes from, not from having a great career or whatever, or even though I did have a career, it was. I tell people I had two careers. One is my career in software, but my other career in spirituality was they were like sometimes they were at odds each other in terms of time, but most of the time it's like, together, a two career kind of life that I had. Now I got one, which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I studied the Kabbalah for a year, and I wrote a diary of a Kabbalistic. That's another thing that I wrote. So I did a diary every single day of my journey in the Kabbalah. And one thing that what you said kind of brought that out is that one of my favorite aphorisms from it is feet on the ground and your head in heaven. Mm-hmm. And this is what you and I are describing about, bringing that experience of heaven into our everyday life. There's no difference between the two, the spiritual and practical, and the practical and spiritual is that's why I say that the spiritual life is the most practical life. It's not the other way around. Most people think if you're spiritual, you're not very practical.
Right.
But in reality, the more spiritual you are, the more practical you are, and the more practical you are, the more spiritual you will be.
Right. It's a matter of greater values. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, what else? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we could talk forever. About what's gone on. Otherwise, I probably need to. I got family coming over tomorrow. I'm supposed to make a lasagna. I'm in the middle of making a lasagna for my wife's family coming over tomorrow. So that's what that's what I'm doing for the rest of the day.
Oh, cool. Are you, do you like to cook?
Yeah, I'm Italian, so yeah, I like to cook.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my passion is ethnic food cooking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a cooking site called What's Cooking Treasures, and I have 714 recipes on it. If you go to magicrings.org, that's my magic rings, then I have a menu called Sample Rings. So on Sample Rings, I then have a drop down of ethnicity. So you can include, I had to think about 35 different ethnic recipes for different countries. So you click on Italian, then an Italian slideshow of all the dishes I have will be there. And you click on a dish, and then it goes to my What's Cooking site and shows you, like it's a lasagna, it would then show you the lasagna recipe. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's. Did you say magic rings or matching rings?
Oh, magic. Yeah, magic. Yeah.
MAGIC. Okay.
Yeah, magic rings. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. Okay. Yeah.
We kind of used the theory of quantum rings. There's a whole theory of quantum rings, and my business partner, he's the one who studied rings for it's about 6 months, and then I met him. This is a funny story. He was the first guy I met in India in 1971, and at Hans Chiante. I just took a train from Pakistan to India. So on that train, your
surfboard, right?
Yeah, with my surfboard. Yep.
I remember that story.
Yeah. You remember that story. So he was the very first person I met, and so the last time I saw him was in Denver, Colorado. We were doing service at Guru Puja. We were there 3 weeks before the festival began. We were just helping set things up, and I happened to stumble upon him on Facebook. And so we had a conversation similar to what we're doing now. And one thing led to another, and so, now we're business partners.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I'm writing all the software. I have websites, one for Jataka tells. You ever heard of that? Jataka? Those are tells, animal tells from the Buddha. There's about 150 tells, and so on my I have an outside site and a YouTube channel. It's called Fletcher Soul Traveler. That's my YouTube channel. Yeah. So on that you'll see under kids books there's Jataka tells, and you click on that, and then I think I have about maybe 40 tells on that.
Cool.
So and then I'm doing storytelling. I have a site on storytelling that we do, and a guy's going to set up his art. So as you can see, I haven't been bored, since retiring.
No, you got plenty to do. We moved in this house in Boston, and we had a major flood even before we moved in. The pipes broke in the ceiling.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Oh my gosh.
So all this is brand new here. You can see here. So so I've been pretty busy fixing things up, but slowly come down down to being sane. I don't have too much to do anymore. Now I can sort of move into other things. So yeah.
Well, we should definitely be in contact more often, because I always sense, like you're one of the only people, as you said, you and I, that when we meditate, we shake. I still do.
Me too. Yeah, that's we have. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because that's what when I think of you, I think you shaking in meditation. I still do. It's the Shakti coming through us is we have that capacity have the Shakti come through us, and it moves our body around,
Yeah.
and it's smoothed out for me a little bit. But I noticed that a lot of that is about blockages in the chakras, and when the chakras open up, then the word chakra means wheel, and when a chakra opens up, it sort of opens up like an SLR camera, and that's then the energy flows a lot easier. And there's not, but I'm always making funny noises and shit still, But
I've been meditating on my chakras for the past 10 years. About 10 years ago, I started, especially, for premies, the meditation is here on up. It's never, the rest of the body. So I thought, I'm going to start investigating about these chakras, and one thing that's what I like about Tumo. Tumo and the 6 yogas. Oh my gosh! I guess it's really fine tuning the guitar of life of our body. You get so much more. Especially I kind of looked at it practically. Just think a chakra pertains to a certain endocrine system. So you can imagine. So, and all diseases stem first in the chakras and then in the human body. So I started thinking, well, how would it be? And then I thought, well, if we were in tune with our chakras, with our nervous system, with our chemical makeup, we could, really help stop disease in the body before it happens. And the more fine-tuned we are with not only our physical body, but with our I call it, the Buddhists call it the subtle body. And for me, that is, it's not a body, per se physical. It's, as it's energy. And the more you're aware of that energy and the blocks in that energy and how to release it, one, will go further on in life.
One of the things that's about the koshas, right? The 5 koshas.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
To me, the as important as a heart is, is the belly.
Right. Almost. Yeah.
To me, that's where the knot of the pain of life begins, because that's where you're cut off with the umbilical cord.
Yep.
And I've noticed as my belly opens up, just like this, this existential stress that I've carried my entire life is released in a way that I can't even describe. And I realize I've been carrying that stress. It's sort of like in those days where you wear these ankle weights when you jog. You always have them on, and after a while you don't even notice they're there. But when you take them off, and that's what's going on. And when these chakras open up, that you have a certain weight of being a human being, and when these things open up, that weight is released, and the weight is a karmic weight, and that's like, wow. Oh my God, I've been holding this stress my entire life subconsciously. So it's been quite a revelation the last 10 years for me, and then very naturally. And it's like boom, 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 and boom. I had my crown chakra open up during a Yogananda movie in the movie theater.
Whoa. Yeah, that's a beautiful movie too, wasn't it?
Yeah, they called Enlightenment. That movie.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I actually wrote my experience on IMDb in one of the reviews. My crown chakra opening up like a giant funnel and blisters pouring down into my spine. I'll never forget that. That was an amazing, energetic experience. With the surprise. I just went to see a movie and boom, the thing happened. But listen, it's what time is it? My wife is calling me here.
Okay, all right, yeah. You got to make dinner. Yeah,
make dinner. That's right. I got this thing
for tomorrow. Yeah,
tomorrow. Right. I got this thing going, and so well, Rick, it's been amazing talking to you. After all these years, it's almost like we're both a lot older, right?
Exactly. And we just turned on the same conversation that we had in the 70s. It's just instantaneously. Yeah.
I know. I'm glad I'm glad you're still alive. I'm glad I've met you. You know,
Uh-huh.
I'm glad we can continue this friendship. You know,
Yeah, and I'll keep you abreast on the current developments on this. You know, so you're on my Excel spreadsheet. You know, for people who are interested.
Cool.
So, yeah,
Great.
we'll see where
Right.
this ball will carry.
All right, Rick. Good to see you, man.
Okay, yeah, see you later. All right,
All right.
say hi to your
Bye-bye.
wife. Okay.
Okay, thanks. You too.
Bye.